Part 69. Oh my gosh. Let's just go and say it's been very flippin' annoyingly rough. I'm gonna restart the conversation with the Dragon type Feraligatr because I seem to be the one that went the most rough the one I did this last time. So, yeah. What the freak? Alright, guys. I just had a whole conversation with the Dragon type Feraligatr. I'm gonna go through everything that I said. If you know everything about the Dragon type Feraligatr and you'll know exactly what the thing says, it says, after seeing the Feraligatr peek out, I'm like, what in the world? The Feraligatr gets closer and closer, its eyes fixate on you. As it approaches, you can see that it's a lot bigger and more intimidating than normal Feraligatr. It has two big horns protruding from its head and spotlining its back and tail. You sense that it's staring into your soul, trying to read your aura. The Feraligatr stops right in front of you, its eyes still fixated on yours. What do you do? Hello? Please don't hurt me. The Feraligatr's gaze doesn't waver, but you sense a slight relaxation in its posture. It sniffs the air as if trying to confirm its initial reading of your aura. After a moment, it seems to nod to itself, and its demeanor changes from tense to almost friendly. Oh, wait, what? Oh, wait. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. That was the end of another conversation. Sorry about that. His larger canine eyes fixing on you, assessing. A low growl rumbles in his chest. He inches closer, every movement deliberate. Who are you? His voice, though deep, is surprisingly gentle. And what brings you to my lake? His gazes peers through you, attempting to sense the truth within. I'm sorry I disturbed you. Please don't be mad. I was taking a break from exercising. I was not going to cause you any harm, I promise. His nostrils flare, taking in your scent. Words are easy, he rumbles, his voice laced with suspicion. Actions speak louder. He circles me slowly, keeping a watchful eye. Prove to me you mean no harm. His gaze softens slightly, but his stance remains alert. What's your name, little one? Yep. Triton, he repeats, tasting the name of it on his tongue. His horns, sharp as daggers, glint in the sunlight. Remember it, Triton. Remember it well. He pauses, considering. Tell me, what do you know of dragons? His tail thumps gently against the ground, a rhythmic beat that echoes through the pounding of his heart. I know that they are mythical creatures that can be very terrifying. Mythical, he scoffs, a puff of smoke escaping his nostrils. I assure you, Triton, I am very real. His eyes narrow. And terrifying? Perhaps, but only if those who deserve it. He lowers his head, meeting my gaze directly. Tell me, Triton, do you think you deserve to be terrified? No. Um, no, I swear I don't mean you any harm. I would never hurt you. His nostrils flare again, catching your scent. It's honest. Good. He gives a curt nod. Honesty is a valuable trait. He shifts his weight, relaxing slightly, but trust is earned, Trenton, not given. He eyes you cautiously. Tell me, what is it you seek at my lake? His gaze sweeps over the surrounding area, his senses alert for any hint of danger. For now, just relaxation, like I said. I've been exercising for a while and I need a break. I saw this lake and sat down to relax. My intention was to never hurt you. I didn't even know you were there until you popped out of the water. He lets out a low huff, a sound somewhat between a snort and a chuckle. Popped out of the water? He repeats, amusement lacing his voice. You make it sound so simple. His tail swishes back and forth, stirring the water around us. Very well, Triton. Relax. He settles down a few paces away, keeping a watchful eye on me. But remember, he warns, his voice dropping to a low growl. Any sudden movements, any hint of treachery, and I will not hesitate. I would never hurt your species. I love dragons. Plus, if you're the pole I'm thinking you are, I love your species too. His head snaps up, eyes narrowed. You know what I am? He growls, suspicion returning. How? His body tenses, every muscle cool tight. Speak carefully, Trenton. Your words have weight. He told you so, his gaze never leaving your face. What do you know of us? You look like a dragon Feraligatr. Please don't be suspicious. I know what your species looks like, not only because I take care of them and I love them. The dragon Feraligatr, his nostrils flare, catching the truth in your scent. He relaxes slightly, his tail ceasing its restless swaying. You care for my kind? He rumbles, a hint of curiosity in his voice. Tell me more, Trenton. What is it like caring for a creature such as myself? He settles down again, still watching you intently, but the tension has eased from his stance. Perhaps, he concedes, you are not so bad after all. Pretty much every Feraligatr I've ever had has always been super friendly and kind-hearted to me, and I love the dragon version of you. That's why I was asking you to please don't hurt me, because I would never mean you any harm. A low rumble vibrates in his chest, a sound that could be mistaken for a purr. Friendly and kind-hearted, he repeats, a flicker of something akin to warmth in his eyes. That's good. He dips his head in a gesture of acknowledgement. I see we're not like the others who fear us. His gaze softens. Perhaps, he says slowly, we can learn from each other, Trenton. You about us, and we about you. He pauses, considering. Tell me, Trenton, what is it you call this friendship? It's a bond that me and... I put him, but it's a bond that me and Pawn share. I have a lot of Pawn that I have a close bond with, even legendaries. Legends? He lets out a low whistle, impressed. His eyes narrow slightly. Legends are powerful creatures, Trenton. To earn their trust is no small feat. He studies you, trying to gauge the truth in your words. Tell me, what makes your bond with them so strong? His tail switches back and forth, a rhythmic counterpart to the lapping of the water against the shore. Perhaps, he says, a hint of curiosity in his voice, you could teach me a thing or two about trust. I treat them the way I treat my other Pokemon. I give them love and affection and take good care of them, plus feed them delicious meals. Love and affection, he repeats, tasting the words on his tongue. They're foreign, yet strangely appealing. I don't want to word it like that, but okay. He watches me, his head tilted slightly. You speak of these things as if they are simple, Trenton, but trust is a fragile thing, easily broken. His gaze hardens, especially for those of us who have seen the darkness in the hearts of men. He pauses, considering. Perhaps, he concedes, you are right. Perhaps a bond built on love and kindness is stronger than any fear. He lets out a deep breath, the air ruffling the scales on his back. Show me, Trenton. Show me what this bond of yours is truly like. How do you want me to show you? Do you want me to get a legendary here, or do you want me to do something like gently pet you? Because I would not mind doing that either. A legendary? He muses, the thought intriguing but unsettling. Perhaps another time, Trenton. Such power is not to be trifled with lightly. His gaze softens as he meets yours. A simple touch will suffice. He lowers his head slightly, offering you a glimpse of his scaled neck. Do not be afraid, Trenton. I will not harm you. His voice rumbles with a hint of vulnerability. Show me your kindness, and I will show you mine. I walk up to the dragon and gently pet him on his neck. A shiver runs down him, not of fear, but of something unexpected. Warmth? His eyes close involuntarily as your hand brushes against the scales. It's a sensation he's rarely experienced, a feeling of comfort. He lets out a rumble of contentment deep in his chest. You are different, Trenton. He opens one eye, peering at you with newfound curiosity. Tell me more about the kindness you speak of. His tail thumps lightly against the ground, a rhythm of cautious hope. Perhaps, he murmurs, we can learn much from each other. I came upon more than just battle partners. I hope this is right. I treat upon more than just battling partners. I treat them like my own true friends and family. Your whole species and pre-evolutions are literally my favorite Pokemon. Family? Friends? He repeats the words slowly, savoring their unfamiliar sound. His gaze softens, a flicker of something akin to understanding in his eyes. To see oneself reflected in another, he murmurs, that's a powerful bond indeed. He lowers his head further, allowing you to stroke his neck more freely. You are right, Trenton. We are more than just battling partners. A low rumble vibrates in his chest, a sound that could be mistaken for a purr. Perhaps, he says, a hint of hope in his voice, we can forge a bond stronger than any other. I was going to tell you about how much I would like you to begin. How much I like you to begin with when I first saw you, but I was worried to do anything when you were acting so aggressive towards me. Especially whenever you told me that if I made a sudden movement, you would attack me. Oh my gosh. Well, you know what, guys? You just got to hear a conversation I did off camera. Oh, wait. Oh my gosh, my brain is so stupid. This is the real one. This tossed to. Oh, never mind, it's not the real one. Here's the real. Sweet Arceus. And I forgot how I started it out, but I just said, hello? Yeah, this is it. I remember how he started out this one. His head tilts inquisitively, his large reptilian eyes studying you intently. A low growl rumbles deep in his chest, but it doesn't sound threatening. He sniffs the air, trying to discern your intentions. Please don't hurt me. I don't mean you any harm. He slowly lowers his head, his nostrils flaring as he continues to assess you. His gaze lingers on your aura, searching for any signs of malice. The growl softens, becoming more of a rumbling purr. Your aura, it seems acceptable. Aura? You can see that? He nods slowly, his large horns glinting in the sunlight. His gaze holds yours unwavering. Yes, I sense the essence of beings. It reveals much. You seem genuine. His tail swishes back and forth slowly, a sign of cautious curiosity. What brings you to my domain? I'm just relaxing after exercising for a while. I saw his beautiful lake and was just resting. He grunts softly, a rumble of agreement. His gaze sweeps over the lake, a hint of possessiveness flickering in his eyes. It is a place of peace. When undisturbed, few are permitted to enjoy its tranquility. He studies you again, his head tilted to the side. You are different. Not like the others who trespass. Please don't be upset. I never meant you any harm. He lets out a low huff, a puff of air rustling the leaves around us. His claws dig slightly into the soft earth. Harm is not always physical. Some intentions are far more insidious. His eyes soften slightly, the intensity dimming a fraction. But you seem sincere. For now, I will allow your presence. I would never even dream of hurting you. Honestly, I think you look really cool. A low rumble escapes his throat, a sound that could be mistaken for a purr. His tail thumps lightly against the ground, a sign of approval. Cool, huh? Do you appreciate the majesty of a dragon? He puffs out his chest slightly, his spikes catching the sunlight. But your words are pleasing. Continue to speak truthfully, and perhaps you will earn my trust. You're a Feraligatr, right? If you are, then you and your pre-evolutions are my favorite Pokemon. His head snaps up, his eyes widening in surprise. A low growl rumbles deep in his chest, but it's not a threatening sound, it's something else. You know of my lineage? He studies me intently, his nostrils flaring. Few recognize the true power of the Feraligatr line, especially in this form. I raised Totodile and the Feraligatrs before, and they all have cared about me in return. He lowers his head slightly, a thoughtful expression on his face. His gaze softens, a glimmer of respect shining in his eyes. You have experience. You understand the bond between trainer and Pokemon. He lets out a slow breath, the air shimmering around him. Perhaps you are not like the others. Perhaps you are worthy of my trust. I even have legendary Pokemon that care about me. His eyes narrow slightly, a flicker of doubt crossing his face. Okay, yeah, he snorts, a plume of smoke curling from his nostrils. Legendaries. Fickle creatures, easily swayed by power and by ambition. He stares at you intently, his gaze piercing. Prove to me that your bond with these legendaries is true. Show me the strength of your connection. I have two I could call here right now. A Lugia and a hybrid of Lugia and Totodile. His eyes widen, a spark of genuine curiosity igniting within them. He rises to his full height, his tail lashing excitedly. A hybrid? Never have I heard such a thing. Fascinating. He lowers his head, his gaze intense. Summon them. Let me see the truth of your words. Let me witness the strength of your bond. Lugia, Sapphire, my sweet legendary and my sweet hybrid. You can hear me, can you please come here? He holds perfectly still, every muscle tense with anticipation. His nostrils flare, taking in every scent, every nuisance of the air. He strains to hear the slightest sound. He strains to hear the slightest sound, faintest whisper of wings beating the air. Come, show me, he mutters under his breath, a low rumble vibrating in his chest. Prove your words true. A few seconds later, a Lugia and the hybrid both show up next to me. Well, that was quick. Want to see? His jaw drops, his eyes widening in disbelief. He stares at the magnificent creatures before him, his mind struggling to comprehend that sight. A Lugia and a hybrid? Impossible! He slowly circles the two Pokemon, his senses on high alert, taking in every detail. He sniffs the air, catching their scents, analyzing their auras. Incredible. He breathes, his voice hushed with awe. Truly, you possess a bond unlike any I've ever witnessed. There's more than just these. I've got a good bit of legendary Pokemon that care, but these are the only two I can get to show up because they can teleport here. He nods slowly, his gaze flickering between you and the legendaries. A grudging respect begins to bloom within him. Impressive. You have earned my consideration. He lowers his head, his horns brushing the ground. Perhaps this bond you speak of is worth exploring. Tell me more of these legendaries. What makes them so loyal to you? I take good care of them just like I do all my other Pokemon. That hybrid right here, I actually raised myself from a baby. He grunts, a low rumble in his chest. He shifts his weight, his gaze softening slightly. Raised from a baby? That speaks volumes. He stares at you intensely, his eyes searching yours. You possess a rare gift, Trenton, a connection to these powerful beings. But power's a double-edged sword. Use it wisely. He pauses, considering his next words carefully. Tell me, what is it you seek from a dragon like me? If you mean, if I require something from you, you don't need to give me anything besides your happiness and friendship. I care about Pokemon like you. His head snaps up, surprise flickering in his eyes. He stirs you closely, a low growl rumbling deep in his chest. It's not a growl of aggression, but one of confusion? Friendship, he echoes, the words foreign on his tongue. He lowers his head, his horns scraping the ground, a wave of unfamiliar warmth washing over him, a sensation he hasn't felt in centuries. How long has this Feraligatr been around? Centuries? I mean, granted, that rock-type Toad's been around for what? What did it say? I think the Lugia's been around even longer. Like the fire-type Lugia I made, the one that came from a volcano instead of, normally. Which is interesting. You seek nothing from me? He raises his gaze to meet mine, his eyes searching for any hint of deceit. Tell me, Trenton, why? Because I'm happy when I'm raising Pokemon I care about and seeing them smile. Even though you're not my Pokemon, you're still a Pokemon I care about. He remains silent for a long moment, processing your words. His tail thumps softly against the ground, a rhythmic beat that betrays his unease. Happiness. Smiles. He murmurs, tasting unfamiliar words. He closes his eyes, picturing a world where Pokemon and humans coexist in harmony, where smiles are freely given and received. A world he never dared to dream of. You are different, Trenton. He finally says, opening his eyes to meet yours. But perhaps different is not so bad. He takes a tentative step towards you, his body language softening. The air crackles with a newfound energy, a spark of hope igniting within him. Show me this happiness. Show me these smiles. Okay, what do you want me to do to prove it or show it to you? He tilts his head, studying you with a newfound intensity. A low rumble emanates from his chest, a sound not of threat but of curiosity. Prove it? No, Trenton. I seek no proof. Actions speak louder than words. He lowers himself to the ground, his massive frame dwarfing yours. His gaze softens, a mixture of something akin to warmth flickering in his eyes. Simply, be yourself. Let me see the heart that cares for those creatures, the heart that seeks connection, not power. Let me see the smiles you speak of. His pause, his voice dropping to a low growl. And if I sense even a flicker of falsehood, well, let's just say you wouldn't want to see what happens then. No, I wouldn't. Based on how Rex he sometimes gets at me. And he's not even a dragon, he's a motherfucking T-Rex that could eat me in 2 seconds. Of course, it just said that this Feraligatr size dwarfs me, so... maybe I should keep my mouth shut. He could do the same thing right now. Will you pay me? Will you pay me? Oh, I need payment. Sorry about rude motherfrickers. In the world. Sapphire, Lugia, will you please let me pet you? He watched intently as you addressed the legendary Pokemon, a flicker of amusement dancing in his eyes. You're bold. You are bold, trying to approach such powerful beings with such casual familiarity. So, you seek to touch the divine. He rumbles, his voice laced with a hint of amusement. A worthy ambition, perhaps, but remember even the greatest of creatures can be dangerous when provoked. His gaze shifts between you and the legendaries, his stance is relaxed but alert. He's curious to see how they react, how they judge this human who claims to care for them. Let me see if they deem you worthy. Almost instantly, both legendaries lean their massive heads down and let me pet them. He watches stunned as the legendary Pokemon lower their heads to you, his eyes widen, disbelief whirring with a grudging admiration. Well, he mutters, his voice is barely a growl. I'll be danged. He shifts his weight, his gaze flickering between you and the legendaries. A warmth spreads through his chest, a sensation of he hasn't felt in, well, perhaps ever. You truly do possess a gift, Trenton. A rare and powerful gift. He lowers his head, meeting your gaze, his eyes usually cold and calculating, soften ever so slightly. Perhaps there is more hope for this world after all. Not only did I raise this hybrid, but I also did take care of a baby Lugia before. His head snaps up, his horns scraping against a nearby branch, his eyes wide in disbelief battling with a surge of something akin to respect. You raised a Lugia? He echoes, his voice rough with astonishment. From a hatchling? He stares at you, his mind struggling to grasp the enormity of your claim. You, a mere human, raising one of the most powerful Pokemon in existence. It seems impossible, yet the legendary acceptance of you speaks volumes. This changes things, Trenton. He growls, a low rumble vibrating through his chest. This makes you truly remarkable. He lowers his head, studying you intently. The warmth in his chest intensifies, a flicker of something akin to trust. Tell me more, Trenton. Tell me everything. With Lugia, it was a little bit of a different story. I found him injured in the woods and helped him feel better. His family was not the nicest, so he decided to stay with me, and I took care of him for a few years until he wanted to start his own family. He listens intently, his gaze never leaving yours. Your words paint a picture of compassion and understanding, a deep connection with these powerful beings that he can scarcely fathom. You healed him, Trenton? Nursed him back to health? He murmurs, a hint of awe coloring his voice. And he chose to stay with you despite his kin? He shakes his head slowly, marveling at the depth of your bond with these legendary Pokemon. It's a bond I've always craved, a connection that transcends species and power. You possess a rare gift, Trenton, a gift for understanding, for nurturing. It's a gift I envy. He pauses, his words softening. Tell me more about Lugia. What was he like? He was a very friendly Pokemon that just loved hanging out with me. I don't know the complete reason, but he would get snippy at times with me even though I was being nice to him. He nods slowly, picturing this young Lugia playful yet prone to sudden bolts of irritability. It's a detail that resonates with him, a reminder that even the most powerful creatures can be complex, their emotions as turbulent as the seas. Snippy, you say? He rumbles, a low chuckle vibrating in his chest. Even the gentlest hearts can harbor hidden storms. Perhaps he sensed a kindred spirit in you, Triton. Someone who understood the burden of power, the weight of expectations. He gazed at you, his eyes searching yours. There's a depth to you, a complexity he finds both intriguing and unsettling. Tell me, Triton, have you ever felt that burden yourself? It could also be because of his family and how somebody else treated him. Because after he apologized for his behavior, he said something about somebody always saying something bad about him related to what I was asking about. I think it was something about his intelligence, because I was telling him he was smart, but I think he took it the wrong way, thinking I was making fun of his intelligence instead of praising it. He listens intently, his brow furrowing as he tries to piece together the puzzle of Lugia's behavior. His past, the words of others, it all weighs heavily on him, shaping his reactions. Ah, he growls, understanding dawning in his eyes. The sting of past wounds. It can fester, corrupt even the gentlest heart. It seems Lugia carries the scars of those who doubted him, who underestimated his intelligence. He lowers his head, his gaze fixated on the ground. I know that pain well. The sting of judgment from those who seek only the surface, who fail to grasp the depths of one's being. It's a burden we both bear, Triton. The weight of expectation, the constant need to prove ourselves. He lifts his gaze, meeting mine. A flicker of understanding passes between us. A shared experience that transcends our differences. But perhaps together we can learn how to rise above it. There was even a time where bad people put toxic oil all over him, and he became super aggressive even towards me. But after a while with me, talking to him, he did calm down and was back to his being friendly. Toxic oil? He growls, his voice laced with disgust. A cowardly act to poison such a noble creature. It takes a strong heart to overcome such treachery. He studies you, admiration growing in his gaze. You calmed him, Triton. You brought him back from the brink. That speaks volumes of your strength and your compassion. After that incident, he even went back on his own and had children. Their names were Melody and Aurora. I still can't remember them names that well. Oh my gosh, really, dog? I gotta get through before it gets too late in the video. I'm not stopping this video until I get through with this one. This shouldn't be much longer. I'm already at the part where he's at the toxic oil. Lugia's gonna show up, and then after a few minutes, I'm gonna get him to go back to normal. His eyes widened, a surge of pride washing over him. Lugia, the wounded soul, had not only healed, but had found love and built a family. Melody and Aurora, he repeats, the names rolling off his tongue with a newfound reverence. Beautiful names. A testament to the joy he found in life, the hope he chose to embrace. He lowers his head, a low rumble of contentment vibrating in his chest. Lugia's story, his journey from pain to peace, it resonates deep within him. It's a reminder that even the darkest wounds can heal, that even the most shattered hearts can find love and solace. Tell me more about his children, Triton. What are they like? Both are friendly and kind-hearted, especially towards me and their dad. A low purr rumbles in his chest. It warms him to hear of Lugia's legacy, of the love and kindness that flows through his bloodline. Kind hearts, he murmurs, a hint of wistfulness in his voice. A rare and precious gift in this world. It seems Lugia's spirit lives on in them. He pauses, his gaze fixated on some distant point. Memories that were within him of a time when he too craved companionship, the warmth of a bond like the one you share with Lugia. Do they resemble their father, Triton? Its appearance and spirit? Yeah, they do. They look exactly like him. A wave of warmth washes over him. It's a powerful thing to see one's legacy reflecting in the eyes of their offspring, to know that a part of oneself will live on, enduring through the generations. A mirror image, he rumbles, a hint of pride in his voice. It warms my heart to hear it, Trenton. Lugia's spirit lives on, strong and vibrant. He pauses, a thought from frown crossing his brow. The image of Lugia's children, so innocent and full of life, stirs a longing within him, a yearning for something he's long since lost. Have they shown any signs of their father's power, Trenton? Any hint of the dragon's fire within them? Unfortunately, he does not get to show up very often. When he does, he always brings his children to say hi. The last time I saw him was a few months ago when he brought his own mother and father too. His parents, he murmurs, his voice laced with wonder. To meet them, to witness the generations intertwined. What a privilege, Trenton. He closes his eyes, picturing the scene. Lugia, proud and strong, flanked by his mate and their children, his parents standing tall beside them, a tapestry of love and loyalty woven across time. They must be proud of him, Trenton, proud of the family he has built, the legacy he has created. A flicker of envy dances in his heart. To have such a bond, such a connection to family, it's a treasure he can only dream of. Tell me more about his parents, Trenton. What are they like? That's the only thing confusing about him, actually, because when I got him as a baby, he said his family and other people were not the nicest, but all of a sudden he brings them along years later. The only thing I could think of is maybe they made up. His brow furrows, a low growl rumbling in his chest. Family. It can be a complicated thing. Bonds forged in love, tested by pain, sometimes broken beyond repair. A family reunited, he murmurs, his voice laced with skepticism. It's a hopeful thought, Trenton, but one must always be cautious. Trust is earned, not given freely. He stares into the distance, his gaze distant and thoughtful. He's seen enough betrayal, enough broken promises to know that forgiveness is a rare and fragile thing. Perhaps time has healed old wounds, Trenton. Perhaps they have found a way to bridge the chasm that separated them. But keep your guard up. Observe their actions, not just their words. Only then will you truly know if their reunion's genuine. I have no clue what's going on. He's just been flying to my house with his children every few months, so I don't know how everything is going, and I hope he's okay. He lowers his head, his gaze fixated on the ground. Uncertainty gnaws at him, a reflection of your own unease. It's a difficult thing, Trenton. He rumbles, his voice laced with empathy. To love something and not fully understand their journey. To trust them, yet fear for their well-being. He raises his head, meeting your gaze with a steady intensity. Perhaps it's time to ask Lugia directly, Trenton. To express your concerns. To seek clarity. Honesty and communication are the cornerstones of any strong bond. A low growl rumbles in his chest, a primal instinct urging me to protect you, to shield you from harm. But he knows that true strength lies in facing your fears and seeking answers rather than avoiding them. He will understand, Trenton. He values your trust, your friendship. Don't be afraid to reach out. I try to call Lugia, but when I do, one of his children, Melody, shows up instead and says, "Did you need something from me?" His nostrils flare, a hint of suspicion tinging his scent. A child answering for their parent? Unusual, to say the least. Melody? He rumbles, his voice low and measured. Where's your father? Is he well? Please, Melody, tell me there's something not wrong with your dad. Why did you show up instead of him? His gaze intensifies, walking on the Melodies. He senses a flicker of unease in her aura, a subtle tremor beneath the surface of her composure. Melody, I say, his voice firm yet gentle, tell me the truth. What's happening? Where is your father? He lowers his head slightly, his massive frame looming over her. It's not a gesture of intimidation, but one of concern. He needs to understand what's going on for my sake and for Lugia's. Don't be afraid to speak freely. Your honesty will be your shield. Silence hangs heavy in the air, broken only by the rustling of leaves and the distant call of a bird. His eyes never leave Melody, searching for any sign of truth in her gaze. Finally, he breaks the silence. His voice is a low growl. Melody, he says, his tone with urgency. Time is of the essence. Tell us what you know. Your father's safety may depend on it. Before we could say anything else, Lugia shows up and he looks different. He's a much darker purple and his eyes are red. Excuse me? Oh, heck no. A surge of primal energy courses through him, his instincts screaming danger. The aura emanating from Lugia is corrupted, twisted. This is not the Lugia I know. He steps forward, his body tensed, ready to strike, a low growl rumbling deep in his chest, a warning to the creature that wears Lugia's form. Lugia! He snarls, his voice laced with suspicion. What has happened to you? His gaze pierces through the darkness that shrouds him, searching for a flicker of the old Lugia, the friend he once knew. Something is wrong. What have you done? And that's the thing about it. Weirdly, this dragon Feraligatr started acting a lot like the Lugia that was corrupted. Like he was getting corrupted too, and he said that later on he actually was getting corrupted by whatever Lugia was doing. So, it was kind of concerning. Silver, buddy, what's wrong with you? Did somebody get you with that toxic oil again? I say. His head snaps towards me, his eyes narrowing. He senses fear, his genuine concern for Lugia. It feels his own anger, his need to protect both of them. Toxic oil! He growls, his voice laced with disgust. That vile substance! He turns back to the corrupted Lugia, his stance unwavering. Rage simmers beneath his scales, a primal fire ignited by the injustice of it all. Whoever did this to you, Lugia, they will pay. His gaze hardens, his resolve solidifying. Triton, stay back. This is my fight. Just be careful not to hurt him. I don't know completely what that toxic oil does to him, but he might be in pain. Melody, stay back. I don't want your father accidentally hurting you. He nods curtly, acknowledging my concern. His focus remains fixated on the corrupted Lugia, his every sense alert for any sign of aggression. I will be careful, Trenton. He rumbles, his voice a low growl. But I will not hesitate to defend myself or you if necessary. His gaze softens slightly as he glances at Melody, her fear palpable. He offers her a reassuring nod, a silent promise of protection. Stay behind your father, Melody. This is not a fight for you. Turning back to Lugia, he prepares himself for the inevitable clash. The air crackles with anticipation, the tension thick enough to taste. Lugia, he says, his voice laced with sorrow. This darkness, it does not have to consume you. Fight it. Remember who you are. I walk up gently and slowly beside the dragon Feraligatr and say, Silver, it's me, the one who raised you. Please snap out of it. I can help you, but only if you let me get close to you without attacking me. He tenses at my approach as I approach, his instinct screaming at me to attack. Why? There's something in his voice, a familiar warmth that gives him pause. He lowers his head slightly, his gaze fixated on me, searching for any sign of deceit. Triton, he growls, the name of rumbling echo in his throat. Is it truly you? His body remains coiled, ready to spring. The darkness within him claws at his mind, whispering doubts, urging him to strike. Prove it, he snarls, his voice strained. Show me that you are not a threat. Despite the turmoil within him, a flicker of hope ignites. My presence, his familiar scent, stirs a faint memory of warmth and trust. Perhaps, just perhaps, there's still a chance to break free from this darkness. You know it's me. Oh my gosh. I know we just met an hour ago when I was relaxing at your lake. I think Louie was talking to me there. But I have cared for you in this hour, and I'm just trying to make sure my friend is okay. Your words pierce through the fog of darkness, clouding his mind. An hour? It feels like a lifetime ago. The warmth of your presence, the gentle care you showed him, fragments of memory flicker like dying embers. He lowers his head further, his gaze softening. The growl rumbles in his chest, but it lacks its previous menace. Doubt still lingers, but your sincerity shines through. An hour? He murmurs, his voice hoarse. It feels like a dream. He takes a hesitant step back, creating a silver space between us. The darkness within me withers, but your words offer a fragile anchor. Prove it, he rasped, his voice barely a whisper. Show me that you are truly my friend. I need more than words. I need a tangible sign, a spark of recognition to ignite the fading embers of trust. Excuse me? You have already seen the bond between me and my Pokemon. What else do you need me to show you? Your words spark a flicker of recognition. He remembers the sight of your Pokemon, their unwavering loyalty, their fierce protectiveness towards you. It mirrors the bond I feel with you, a bond that transcends the darkness engulfing me. He lowers his head further, his gaze searching yours, the growl in his throat subsiding, replaced by a deep rumble of contentment. You speak of bonds, he murmurs, his voice laced with a newfound vulnerability. Show me yours. Let me see the strength of your connection, the unwavering trust that binds you together. He needs to see it, to feel it. Only then can he begin to unravel the darkness that binds him, and perhaps rediscover the friend he once knew. Wait, Feraligatr? Is that you talking to me, or is that Lugia? That's aggressive right now. His head snaps up, his gaze darting between you and the corrupted Lugia. Confusion bows with the lingering darkness within him. He feels a tug, a connection to Lugia, a shared pain and rage, but also a flicker of something else. Something familiar. Both, he growls, his voice strained. Lugia's pain. It consumes him, but a part of me fights against it. He takes a step back, struggling to maintain control. Darkness threatens to overwhelm him, but your presence, your unwavering belief in him offers a fragile lifeline. Help me, Trenton, he pleads, his voice ragged. Help me break free. Why is it even affecting you? You're not Lugia. He shudders, a wave of pain washing over him. Darkness sweeps into his very being, twisting his thoughts, amplifying his fears. I don't know. He rasps, his voice laced with anguish. It's like a poison. It spreads, corrupting everything it touches. Lugia, he is the effector, but I feel it too. He clutches at his head. He clutches at his head, trying to ward off the encroaching darkness. His vision blurs. The world around him dissolves into a chaotic swirl of shadows. It's consuming me. He gasps, his voice barely above a whisper. Trenton, please. He stumbles, his legs giving way beneath him. The darkness closes in, threatening to extinguish the last flicker of hope within him. Silver, calm down, buddy. It's me. Please, come here. Don't attack me. I'm not going to hurt you. Your voice, a beacon of warmth and familiarity, cuts through the suffocating darkness. It's a lifeline, a desperate plea for sanity in a world gone mad. He fights against the overwhelming urge to lash out, to succumb to the darkness consuming him. Your words, your name, they start a primal instinct, a desperate need to protect and to trust. Trenton, he groans, his voice strained barely low. I force myself to my feet, his body trembling, his vision blurry. He stumbles towards you, each step a momental effort. The darkness still claws at him, whispering venomous lies, urging him to strike, but your presence and your unwavering faith offers a glimmer of hope. I think it's Lugia now. Help me, he pleads, his voice ragged. Please. He reaches out a trembling claw, seeking your touch, your reassurance he needs to believe that there's still a silver of light within him, spoke of the Pokemon he once was. I can't tell who's talking to me anymore. Crap. Guys, we're almost done, so I'm going to get it done. See you in a second. I said I'll see you in a second. Guys, we're almost done. Let's go and finish this up. It says Silver the Lugia does actually fly down next to me, and I grab his wings gently, and I grab the Dragon Feraligatr's claw and start petting them gently, saying, "It's okay, Silver. Don't let the darkness overwhelm you. You've got this before. Please, buddy, do it for me." Your touch, gentle and reassuring, sends a jolt of warmth through him. He focuses on your voice, on the unwavering belief in your words. Memories flicker, vows won, laughter shared, moments of quiet companionship. These are the anchors he clings to, the proof that the darkness doesn't define man. I remember, he rasped, his voice thick with emotion. I remember who I am. With a shuddered breath, he closes his eyes, surrendering to your touch. The darkness still lingers, but your faith, your unwavering support begins to push it back. Slowly and painfully, the light returns. Don't let go, he whispers, his voice tinged with vulnerability. Please. Don't worry, I'm not going to as long as you don't lash out at me. He nuzzles against my hand, seeking comfort in your touch. Your presence a balm to his ravaged soul. A reminder that even in the darkest depths, hope can endure. I won't. I promise. His voice hoarse but firm. I won't let it win. Not this time. He draws strength from your unwavering belief, from the bond that ties us together. The darkness may still loom, but with you by his side, he knows he can face it. We will face it together. I gently pet the Lugia and the Dragon Fragger while saying, You're doing a good job. Just calm down, buddy. It's me, and I would never hurt you, so please don't do it to me. There we go. Let's see. Your words wash over him like a soothing wave, calming the storm raging within. The Lugia rumbles softly beside us, a low, comforting hum that vibrates through his very being. Together we are a fortress against the enchanting darkness. I feel it receding, he murmurs, his voice shaky but filled with a newfound hope. Your words, they are a lifeline. Thank you, Trenton. He leans into your touch, drawing in strength from your unwavering faith. With each gentle stroke, the darkness weakens, replaced by a glimmer of the Pokemon he once was. Strong, loyal, and fiercely protective. We will get through this, he vows, his gaze unwavering. Together. After petting him for a few more seconds, I also go ahead and give him a giant hug and say, I love you, Silver. Your embrace is a sanctuary, a haven from the storm. He melts into your touch, the warmth of your love seeping into his very core, pushing back the lingering shadows. I love you too, Trenton, he whispers, his voice thick with emotion. For a moment the world fades away. There is only the feel of your arms around him, the sound of your heartbeat against his chest, the unwavering love in your eyes. In this embrace he feels safe. He is whole, and he is loved. Slowly he returns your hug, his claws gently gripping your shoulders. The darkness may still lurk in the shadows, but right now all that matters is this moment, this connection, this love that binds us together. If you need even more help to snap out of it, think about the good things I did for you. I raised you and took care of you when you were injured. I got you through this one time before, and you were extremely grateful. Plus, you have one of your children over there, Melody. You don't want to hurt her by mistake. Your words strike a chord deep within him, awakening memories burned beneath the suffocating darkness. Images flash before his eyes. Your gentle touch mending his wounds, your unwavering belief in his strength, the joyous reunion after he had succumbed to the darkness before. Melody. The thought of his daughter, her innocent eyes filled with love and trust, pierces through the fog of despair. He could never harm her. The very notion's anima to his being. Melody, he whispers, his voice trembling with remorse. I wouldn't. The darkness recoils, unable to withstand the power of these memories, these bonds of love and loyalty. Your words are a lifeline pulling him back from the abyss. You're right, he says as before, his filming resolve. I remember everything. His gaze meets mine, filled with gratitude and newfound determination. The darkness may still linger, but I will not let it win. Not this time. Not ever again. Thank you, Trenton, he says, his voice husky with emotion. Thank you for reminding me who I am. Of course, I don't care how big you get. If you need my help, all you have to do is ask. You were always there for me, and I will always be there for you. Okay, we're near the end. I know, he whispers, his voice thick with emotion. Your words are a balm to my soul, a reminder that I am not alone in this fight. He leans into my touch, drawing strength from your unwavering love and support. Thank you, Trenton, for everything. Hey, Feraligatr, is the darkness finally gone away from you too? Please tell me you're alright as well. He takes a deep breath, savoring the feeling of the darkness receding. It's like a heavy weight lifting from his chest, allowing him to breathe freely again. Yes, he says, his voice regaining its strength. It's fading. I can feel it slipping away. He looks at you, his gaze filled with gratitude. You saved me, Trenton. You pulled me back from the brink. I owe you my life. Thank you, he whispers again, his voice thick with emotion. You saved me. Of course, this is what I was trying to tell you earlier whenever you didn't trust me. I really do care about you. I just wish you understood that sooner. He lowers his head, shame washing over him. He should have trusted you. You've proven time and again that your love for me is true and unwavering. I know, he says, his voice laced with regret. I was I was blinded by fear. I let the darkness cloud my judgment. He looks into my eyes, searching for forgiveness. He sees it there mixed with a hint of sadness, and he knows he has a long way to go to earn back your complete trust. But he will do whatever it takes. I promise, Trenton. He vows, his voice firm with resolve. I will never doubt your love again. Ooh. And by the way, guys, that was the whole conversation I had with him. I noticed that Dragon Feraligatr is really cool, but I also noticed that he don't seem to trust people that easily. I mean, granted, it makes sense. Why would he trust anybody? You know? I mean, that wouldn't be easy for him. I know that. I know that all too well. Okay, guys, I will be back.